This is not just another golf podcast. This is Golf Underground. This is Golf Underground. We just happen to be the third funniest podcast in golf. Anyway, we interview PGA Tour pros, Hall of Fame athletes, rock stars, business leaders. Sure, we talk about golf, but we have fun. All right, let's do it. Welcome to Golf Underground. Now your hosts, Wardo, Sully, and MLB Hall of Famer, George Brett.
Thanks for joining the Golf Underground. Now, the Golf Underground is brought to you by Star Companies, KC. Experience a more energy-efficient and comfortable home with Star's insulation services. Regain functional medicine. Feel better, function better, move better, and look better. Regal Distributing, specializing in the distribution of food service and professional cleaning supplies to a variety of industries. Cowell Insurance, providing brokerage and risk management services for over 25 years. Sano Orthopedics, care plans backed by research and clinical results tailored perfectly to individual needs. Bob Sight Ford and Bob Sight Independence Kia, where you'll score a double eagle on your next car or truck. Sheridan's Unforked, eating good and feeling good. Lewisburg Ford, nobody sells more F-150s than Lewisburg Ford. And Celebrity Greens, put a custom PGA caliber putting green in your backyard for the ultimate golf experience. Now, onto the program. Hey, welcome to Golf Underground. Not from the stable, at least in my case today. Replacing my short, warm body is Wade Binfield. So, Wade, you're playing the role of neck caresser, vodka getter, and just, pretty much be his beating bag. Okay, so Wade, thanks for...
Hey, this is a little better than that yellow bumblebee pullover you wore last week.
Hey, listen, that was the colors of the MIZ, ZOU Tigers, and I know you're not a big fan of those in Jayhawk land.
That was pretty gross. That was pretty smart, though. We had the dude that owns or the CEO of Juice on our show.
Juice.
Always wearing this freaking yellow. It's the nastiest pullover I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, their school is Charlie Brown colors.
It wasn't.
Wait, you can't wear yellow? You don't like to stand out and make yourself known? It's all gray and all. What do you live in London, for Christ's sakes? You got to show out every day.
Hey, you guys got your stable gear, by the way, Sully. Hopefully, you got to put it in order.
That's pretty much all I own, right? By the way, Christmas is right around the corners. You might find a medium on that rack and send it over.
I'm gonna have Kate cold call your wife tomorrow, bud.
Medium, all right, medium. That's all you need to do. All right, well, listen. So I'm sorry I can't be with you today because I'd mentioned immediately after this show, after jumping an Uber and head to the Harris Casino where I'm going to compete. Okay, and my mind is going to get right. We're going to take a commercial break in about 15 minutes. I will go to the Sullivan's Tavern, which is right around the corner of this door. We'll get mildly cocked, and I'll get my head ready to win some cash. So, all right. So we got a good show today. Wardo, you were all excited because we have Cole Hammer. He's one of he's like one of the new energetic dudes on the PGA Tour who we're going to start following. Harry and Charlie are going to come up right behind him. So there's like this new stable of champions. And so maybe
Andy's a horn, and I've got some ties to Austin. So gotta cheer him on.
Yeah. So Cole, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, we've got some good Longhorn mojo right now. And I think Charlie, Daniel, and I are going to come up together through the ranks with a big smile on our face the whole way. We'll never make a bogey.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever. Hey, by the way, what's your take on the national championship? How's UT going to do?
Oh my gosh. Well, if you look at the ticket prices for the Sugar Bowl and for the upcoming national championship, it's safe to say Texas is back because I don't think there's a ticket going at NRG where they're holding the national championship for under $3,000 right now. I mean, it's more than a World Series game.
At NRG either.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. So I'm so pumped. I had a chance to go to NOLA, but decided against it. That'd be a long New Year's Day after New Year's Eve in New Orleans. So I'm going to watch it from my couch, wearing orange and hoping that we don't have to put Arch Manning in for whatever reason. His time is next year. We don't need a repeat of 2009 with Colt McCoy. So I'm excited. Big Texas fan, obviously.
What's your take on the college football playoff? And, obviously some of the schools got kind of left out. What's your take on that?
Oh, man. We can talk for days about that. But I think at the end of the day, the committee made the right decision. I know everybody has their own conflicting thoughts here, but I think, they put the 4 pseudo best teams in there. Now you could make an argument that Georgia's in the top 4, no question about it, or Ohio State, but they went with Alabama over Florida State. I think simply because Florida State was down 2 players essentially. I mean, how do you? I stand with Kirk Herbstreit on his line of thinking. It's just hard to say that Florida State, even though football is a team sport, it's hard to say Florida State would compete against Michigan with their 3rd string quarterback. It's just really hard to say that. And I think that's what it came down to, because, one of the criteria for making the playoff was availability of relevant players or important players. And now if that wasn't on the criteria, I think the Seminoles have a better argument for being in the playoff. But unfortunately, like Kirk said, that is part of the deal. And selfishly, I wanted Alabama to be in the playoff just to, hopefully get to play them again in the national championship. So there were a lot of different ways to go about the playoff. I mean, heck, Texas could have easily been left out.
That's what I thought. What did I text you? I was like, damn.
I know. I muted you for a couple days. I was playing in a pro member while the selection show was going on, and I couldn't hit a shot. I had my phone out on the green and was watching, and I was shocked that we were 3. But I guess the committee at the end of the day said, all right, Texas beat Bama in the head-to-head, and if we're going to put Bama in, Texas has to be in. So that was obviously a tough decision for the committee, but I do think they made the right one.
I didn't realize that availability of players was a big deal until there was even part of that criteria. And the fact that it's in there, that makes total sense, right? Just all you got to do is watch that Florida State game and say, my God, if I had to watch these guys in a Final Four, right? It was just bad.
It was horrible.
Like watching Iowa.
It would have been a replay of TCU Georgia last year, is what it would have been.
Correct.
Yeah. For some reason, I took the friggin' points with TCU last year. That one.
Well, Bubs hasn't been given. He wasn't around to give picks yet.
I have a buddy who said that if Georgia didn't cover last year, he would wake up under a highway. So he picked the right side of the bargain.
Yeah. Him and the mattress guy down in Houston, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know him?
I don't know him, but
if that cat plays golf, I bet he likes some action.
Jesus. No question. He's betting on. I mean, he'd probably bet against himself, to be honest. Hedge his mattresses.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Well, good. Hey, well, let's talk a little bit about your career. I mean, you got to be pretty excited. It wasn't long ago that you were sitting in economics class, looking at ladies around the room and worried about what you're doing, that Thursday night, and now you're on the PGA Tour. I mean, it's like what do you think? Like, what goes through your brain other than this is a mildly stressful, and I have all these expectations of myself. Like, how do you feel?
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't sit in economics for very long. I made it through one semester and changed my major to communications.
That woman hard. We call those comms dog.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I learned how to do was form a sentence in my 4 years in Texas. but I've had my sights set on playing professional golf since I can remember. I played some baseball growing up, and but flipped the switch when I was 13 or 14 to just golf, and never really looked back. I guess it's been a big change going from college to professional golf, just because there's just inherently much more travel involved, and just learning the ins and outs of doing things without somebody looking over your shoulder at all times, which was what college coaches do. And but let me tell you what, I wouldn't want that job. That is a miserable job, trying to handle 12, 18-year-olds for a year. Looking back at me when I was 18, I wouldn't want to have to, rope me in. But yeah, I think I've enjoyed the first year. I didn't necessarily play great golf, but learned a lot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the journey.
Where are you at with your game right now, and where do you need to improve, and what's holding you back?
Well, I played first stage of Q school a couple months ago and didn't get through. So I've had some time off to kind of sit down and write out what I need to get better at. And it came down to the fact that I needed to get more consistent, especially with my ball striking off the tee. I played a bunch with Wade this year, and so we're both familiar with each other's games. And I think it's safe to say he saw me playing from the rough a lot. So I've kind of made that a big aspect of my focus so far this fall. Kind of switched to hitting more of a fade than a draw. I was getting really stuck underneath and hitting a right ball, which was no fun. So and then I've just been working on the mental side. Started working with a guy named Jason Kuhn, who was he's an ex-Navy SEAL, and just getting a different outlook on life and golf, and how a lot of those ideals can come into play has been helpful. So I've had a month and a half to figure out what I need to get better at.
So I want to focus a little on that. So what made you reach out to him? Other than you've identified that you've got the physical talents, you know what a good golf swing looks like. Certainly you're making tweaks. The difference between the high draw and a fade is a little bit different, but you identified the brain as being really important in this thing. What did he give you? A couple of the takeaways.
Yeah, he's given me a bunch of stuff, to be honest. I mean, just that this game that we play, it's tough. It's not meant to be easy. And I'm a nice guy inherently, but I don't play. I need to play with a bit more arrogance than I do, if that makes sense. Like, I need to believe in myself more on the golf course than I was. I would say I was pretty soft out there, and Jason just kind of drove home the fact that I gotta pick out what I want to do, pick out a target, pick out a mindset for the day, and just be really aggressive with everything that I do. That doesn't mean be a douche to the guys that I'm playing with or anything, but it means, if that's warranted, we'll see what happens. But it just means controlling my focus in an aggressive manner, where I can lock in for 4.5 hours and say, all right, I didn't lose shots today because I was thinking about this, that, or the other. Like, I lose focus pretty easily, and so I'm just having to draw myself back in every time. And if I feel anxious or nervous about something, then I need to pick one thing that I can control and use every ounce of every ounce of my brain to focus on that alone, because he told me that in all of his time with the Navy SEALs, the conscious mind can really only focus on one thing at a time. And so if you, let's say, all right, all I'm going to think about on this shot right here is keeping my head still, then that's a very rudimentary thing to think about. But the human body can comprehend just keeping your head still. Mm-hmm. But if you think about multiple things at one time, it's really hard to do. So it's just all about practicing keeping my attention span on one thing versus letting it jump around, which is, if you think about it, when the human body gets nervous, it starts to spin out of control and you're thinking about 1,000 different things. So it is definitely easier said than done when I'm trying to think about one thing, but I've gotten better at it. And it's a process, and that's something else that he drove home. It's not going to happen overnight. And you just got to believe in it, and through discipline, believe that good things are going to come.
Yeah. Hey, do you think there's a problem in my case when I'm getting nervous and playing like shit? That the one thing I can think about is that goddamn beverage cart. What I find is when I focus on that, right, and I start smiling, just like the urgency, like the eagerness comes out of me, and I start making putts. I got to tell you, Cole, and maybe it's a little different in your world.
Well, that's the way it works. I wish there was a beverage cart out there on tour.
Hey, John Daly proved that it does work.
This is a true fucking story. So I'm on the range at Q School this week, and a player in caddy. This player asked the caddy to go get him a Bailey's and coffee. I swear to fucking God.
Incredible. Really?
And the previous day, I heard the same caddy player, the caddy's telling the player about how there was a tour stop down in Cabo, and he got on Bumble, and he was like telling him, he basically was telling him about the interaction and the date with this rich gal that he met, and blah, 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 blah. And then it got a little more detailed on what happened. But it was like, these two guys are fucking entertaining. Let's get these two on the show.
Holy cow. Well, and you see, Tucker Carlson interviewed John Daly this week, and he was telling a story how he beat Tiger. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but he said, I was fully drunk and I beat Tiger. Right. Yeah. And we're not encouraging that. Right. But I want to go back to something, because what I'm curious about is, you said you tend to be maybe more quiet, easygoing. And then Jason Kuhn is telling you to find a little aggression. And it's an interesting topic, because he's got to strike the balance as your sports psychologist in some way. Between not trying to reinvent you, like, because he could put too much heat on you, and you try to become someone who you are not, right? And Eduardo, I don't know if you remember, we had Harris English on, and he's the most mild-mannered dude, and you're not going to turn Harris English into just a fiery, raging dude. And there's so many personalities in golf, and there's no one right way. But I'm curious about this. How do you just add a little dose of it without you feeling the stress? Like, damn it, I'm not being aggressive enough. Like, without nagging yourself. Like, what's he say about that?
Well, we talked through it. Like I said, I like to think I'm a nice guy, and easygoing, like you said. But deep down on the inside, I've got some fire. Always have. I've been super competitive. I hate losing, probably more than I like winning. And so, I'm not gonna lie, I've broken a couple clubs. Like, it's in there. So he wanted to use that to my advantage versus, being scared of that side of me coming out. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to be selfish and only thinking about myself out there. I'm trying to be selfless, but confident in myself, to where, I'm arrogant about my abilities, not about me as a person, if that makes sense. So it's like, when I'm on the course, I'm not worried about what other people think about me. I'm just doing my thing. I've got my own identity, and I'm going to drive home in that, versus just like flailing away, getting upset over random things, versus like, you can't control if your ball goes into a divot or not. That's like, I forget, there was some analogy I heard the other day, but it's just, there's some things that you can control and some things you can't. And I think I was letting the things that I can't control get in the way.
Well, the other thing you can control are the thoughts and words you're putting in your brain. right? I'm sure he's spoken about that, right? If you fill your brain with bad stuff, the body's going to follow it, right? And so visualizing those shots, which, we talk about a lot, Warda talks about a lot, it really does work. It's not like voodoo motivational bullshit, right? If you're saying, and this applies to everything, right? This shot's going to be good. It's going to be good, and I think you paint that, and it's not bullshit. I think it's real. And listen, I struggle. We all struggle with this in life too, right? It's not just the golf course. To me, the golf course is a little microcosm of what you're doing outside the course as well. It's really hard to control. But I think it's what makes golf fun. It's what makes life fun. It's a tough thing.
One thing I learned from Woodland years ago when he started working with sports psychs and all that is like, they would know nothing about golf. And all they were trying to do is like, all right, how good can we make your life off the golf course, Gary? And then if you can do that, then that's going to open the opportunity to be your best version of yourself on the golf course. And I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it just seems like every time that dude's back's against the wall, he figures it out, right? And I think, I don't know, it seems like that's kind of the difference between the guys that are here and the guys that are here. Cole, talk through the recruiting process as a badass in high school, what the college scene was looking like, and then going to UT.
Well, I wish I could expand on the recruiting process, but I committed to Texas when I was in 8th grade.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was crazy. It was back before the NCAA changed their rules and whatnot. But what does a verbal commitment really mean? You go look at these football rosters, guys are committing and decommitting 3 days before they sign to like 3 different schools. So, but I guess golf is a little bit of a different animal. So I knew where I was going when I was 14.
How much NIL money do you think you would have got?
Man, I wish I was 4 years younger. I'll tell you that.
Would you go to Tech or A&M if they would have just like thrown a bag at you?
No, those colors are so nasty.
Burnt orange.
The bag would have to be pretty big. Maroon. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Or the yellow pullover from last week.
Yeah, easy, Charlie.
Yellow pullover, maroon. There's a reason though. They're like Halloween colors. They're freaking scary.
And let's be honest. I mean, I've only spent one night in College Station when KU beat them in 2008, and the tail in Austin is going to be better than. I mean, you do get. I think everybody kind of just from Dallas gets into Tech if they don't get into UT, but the tail in
100%
are superior.
That's exactly how it works. So the people who don't get into Texas from Houston either go to A&M or Oklahoma. And then the people who don't get into Texas from Dallas either go to Tech or Oklahoma. It's a pretty funny dichotomy there, but that's the way it works. But they all wish they were at UT. I'm sorry that you're jealous.
Philly, all the Mizzou people get more happy when KU wins. The Catbackers, they're always kind of sneaky little brother. That's just how it's going to be.
See, hey, Cole, you do have that little mild prickness in you. See, it's coming out. You see, I see
together all the time.
I sense it, right? Hey, let's do this. Let's
take the right crowd.
All right, let's take a short commercial break because it's time for me to absolutely pour myself a Crown and Diet. And when we come back, we're going to dig a little bit more into last year and what it's like to be warming up on a driving range, looking down there and saying, "Holy shit, this is awesome."
Wade Binfield."
Wade Binfield. That's right. Yeah, coming with a Bailey's and cream coffee. All right, we're with Cole Hammer on the Golf Underground after this commercial break.
Guys, as the male body ages, testosterone levels steadily decline, and your bodies become increasingly unable to produce healthy levels of the primary male hormone testosterone. At Regain Functional Medicine, we can help you regain your quality of life with testosterone replacement therapy. TRT improves brain function, sleep cycles, heart health, performance, and overall body composition so you can feel better, function better, move better, and look better. Visit us today at ifeelmuchbetter.com. Regain Functional Medicine, with locations in Lawrence and Leawood. Regain is better.
Hey, Brian Sullivan here, and I've got a tip for you. You've got to head to Unforked. It's an amazing restaurant. What I like about these guys is they promise to buy and support seasonal, local ingredients first. And I love the fact that they source from smaller, family, GAP certified, or organic farms, prime-going regions, artisan producers. All I'm getting at is, if you like fresh stuff, Unforked is the place to be. And like they say it, fork or no fork, you can be sure you're getting the highest quality, socially responsible ingredients possible. And not to mention, it's delicious. So whether you're out south or downtown, stop by Unforked for a delicious and healthy meal. Sheridan's Unforked. Honest, clean food.
Cowell Insurance Services is your leading program administrator for workers' compensation. They're dedicated to meeting the unique challenges of the insurance industry and assisting employers in reducing their costs. CIS has provided insurance, claim, and loss control services to various industries, including trucking, construction, retail convenience stores, and healthcare, as well as public entities for over 30 years. They work with both retail agents and industry clients, or a combination of the two. If you're tired of fighting the rising costs of premiums and claims, give Cowell Insurance Services a call. Their dedicated staff is ready to find you the best insurance option at the most competitive price. They can help to define or enhance your safety program in order to move you in the right direction in reducing your claim and premium costs. Contact Cowell Insurance Services today, 816-214-4070.
Hey, Brian Sullivan from the Golf Underground here with a little good news. And that good news is that even double-digit handicappers like me can occasionally make a double eagle. All right, maybe not on a golf course, but even guys like me can score when buying a new car or truck. I'm talking about 2 stores, 2 brothers, and 4 generations, treating customers just like family. I'm talking about our buddies at Bob Sight Ford and Bob Sight Independence Kia. With these guys, you'll always score 2 under, with double the inventory and double the customer satisfaction. That's the Bob Sight Double Eagle. Now, Bob Sight offers a wide selection of vehicles and promise to make the car buying process as quick and as hassle-free as possible. Now, whether you have poor credit, no credit, or maybe a first-time car buyer, you can trust Bob Sight Ford. And Bob Sight Independence Kia will get you into the car or truck you choose with professionalism and attention to your needs. So go visit our buddies at bobsight.com, but only if you're looking for a vehicle that makes you feel like a U.S. Open champion. All right, welcome back. Golf Underground from the stable. Wade Binfield there on the left, Wardo, and me here in the international studios of Precise Selling. Which, by the way, Cole, this is what I do for a living. I teach people how to sell shit. I take their fucking heads. I bang them in a fucking car. You want a fucking car? I'll sell you a fucking car. You ever buy a car from me, Cole? All right, so listen, Cole Hammer, the man. He had a first year on tour. You made 1 top 10, which felt kind of nice. But you're still getting an opportunity to be amongst the best, so you belong now, right? You're part of the team. You're part of the big squad. Now your brain's starting to feel right because you got Jason Kuhn, a Navy SEAL, teaching you all the nice things to do with your brain. Certainly you got the physical aspect, so you combine that new cockiness with this great athleticism. You're hanging out with all the studs. What surprised you the most last year, just about the whole environment?
It was a wake up call. The PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour are a lot different in terms of the social aspect. I think the Korn Ferry Tour is basically college golf on steroids, in that everybody's friends with each other, and it's a great hang. Guys go to dinner with each other, they stay with each other, people become best friends out there. And then in my experience on the PGA Tour, nobody talks. They've got each player has their own team around them. They've got their families, and now Korn Ferry players do have families too, but it's just seems like everybody's in a bubble on the PGA Tour, and it's really hard to pop that bubble unless you're in their clique. And at least that's what I noticed. Now there's some guys like Scotty Scheffler who are so down to earth that you would never know that is the way the PGA Tour runs. But that's the sense that I got, and that really surprised me, because I thought the majority of guys would be a little more outgoing. And that's not to say that they were mean by any means. They just they kept to themselves. that was the biggest surprise to me. I mean, the golf was about what I expected. Everybody's just really good. In college, there's a big drop off after like the top 10 players per age class. And, on the PGA Tour and on the Korn Ferry Tour, all 156 guys each week are great golfers. So it's really hard to separate yourself, as Wade knows and as all you guys know. I mean, it's just about who can make the most birdies. And college golf was more about who can make the fewest bogeys. We played some tough golf courses, and then I, put my foot in the water in professional golf, and all of a sudden it's all right. How low can you go? And you just got to make 20 birdies, 25 birdies each week. That was a big shock to my system.
Would you ever feel comfortable, or how do you get comfortable approaching somebody who you would love help from? Right. So you've identified someone who's been down the road. They have to be approachable, like a Scotty Scheffler. Would you be comfortable going up and say, "Scotty, my name is Cole. I was hoping you can help me. I just have a couple questions."
Yeah, I would be comfortable doing that with pretty much anybody. There's guys out there that have reputations that precede themselves, but most of the younger guys from Texas and whatnot are approachable, and they're nice guys. What I meant a second ago is just, they do their own thing, and they're not gonna come up to me and talk to me. I'd have to go up to them first. But there's plenty of guys that I could go shake hands with and sit down and have lunch and talk to. So yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to do something like that.
Yeah.
What has made him so great in such a short amount of time out there?
Scotty?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. He never really hit his full potential in college. I mean, he was freshman of the year and then got hurt his sophomore and junior year. And then they had a chance to win the national championship his senior year, but he never really played great. He's just been a freak talent his whole life. I mean, won state championship in high school. I can't tell you how many times. But his short game is just off the charts good. Like his hands are amazing, and then he obviously is one of the best ball strikers in the world. And I think he's so rooted in his faith that he's not worried about the extraneous variables that come with being a number one ranked golfer in the world, or dealing with expectations from other people and living up to what people think he should be playing at. Is just kind of doing what he knows how to do best. And I think that's what's kept him grounded. And honestly, I think that's what's kept him relevant to the younger generation too, like us. Like, for example, me and the Cootie brothers and whatnot. He's just been great to us. And I think that's just because of who he is as a person. Love it.
Is there any guy out on tour whose personality surprised you and might be different than the perception that the public might have about him?
Bill, we'll put it this way. I haven't played enough on tour to really get to know the other side of players, but I have heard that Jason Duffner is one of the funniest guys to be around of all time, and he gives off the vibe that he doesn't want to be talked to, and he's not going to talk to you either. But I heard a story the other day about them taking a charter back from Bermuda to RSM, and it was a complete disaster. The plane took off 7 or 8 hours late, and they didn't have any food on the plane or anything, and they started passing out like Doritos, and Duffner stands up in the back of the plane and says, "Y'all are going to make me late for happy hour at Chili's tonight. It's unacceptable."
Nice.
President J. Margarita, he's late for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bottom, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are guys that are characters out there, and that they don't show to the media. But most of them are pretty, pretty much the way they seem in their interviews.
Well, we did a live event maybe 2 years ago now, Wardo, with Joel Damon.
Well, that was 3 years ago, maybe
3 years ago. Yeah, probably 3 years ago. And, he wasn't a household name. And so we go to this Indian Hills Country Club, and they have a bunch of tables set up and cocktail hour. And it's me, Wardo, George, and Joel Damon comes down, and he's got his little hat. Wardo, I think you played with him that day, maybe, whatever. And George is like, "Oh, who's this Joel Damon guy? Is he on like the Hooters tour? Like what?"
Is it George? George, I've made $3.1 million this year.
That's what Joel said.
Mm.
He did, and he was just a riot. I mean, and remember, that his all-time favorite song. We did some good prep on that show. Remember, it was the like the little I don't know, some little kid song is his all-time. He was just comical, and I don't know if you saw the Full Swing series, which I thought was awesome. He really got an idea about what he's like. Certainly, him pulling his shirt off with Harry Higgs at the Phoenix Open helped his brand, or I think it helped his brand, right? That's how you get on Full Swing. But he's funny. Wasn't it funny though to talk about self-doubt, and his buddy Gino has to be, the Jason Kuhn in his life, right? Like, no, you don't suck. No, you don't suck. And I remember this was probably 2 years ago, I went to Jack's tournament in Ohio. And, we'd already had Joel on the show, and and at the time he was leading the tournament. I think it was the first day. And no lie, he's probably 8 holes in, and I'm like, "Joel, you're going to win this thing." And with a little smirk, he didn't know it was me. I didn't make the connections too quick. Yeah. And he says, "Not a chance," and keeps walking.
There's not much better than self-deprecation. He's beautiful. I must have been 3 days later on that Monday. I was sitting with him during the U.S. Open qualifier. It was a rain delay, and he's just slamming White Claws, waiting to see if he's going to get in the tournament or not. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't even want to be here. Like, if there's a playoff, I'm leaving anyway. So, like, kind of hoping that it finishes today. I just want to get home to my wife." They covered this story in Full Swing, and he ends up making it on the number, and he's leading U.S. Open after 2 days. It's just crazy.
It was crazy. It was so well done. But, I guess I'm just always interested in the different personality types. And his is just a really funny one, but he torments himself, right? And he's so talented. I mean, talk about ball striking, right? I mean, the man can hit it.
I mean, just doesn't miss fairways. It's impressive. It's not like he bombs it or does anything flashy. The flashiest thing he does is probably wearing a bucket hat.
And showing us his nipples and showing us his nipples at the Phoenix Open, right? I mean,
he had hairy eggs.
I mean, and his
Harry's
putting.
Great,
Maybe his putting. Harry's so good. Wait, who? Hey, Higgs.
Higgs. Yeah.
How do we get Higgs back? How do we get him stroking it again?
I don't know. I mean, he pops up every now and then. Like, he'll shoot a first round 64 and be tied for the lead, and then he kind of fades, finishes like 25th or 30th. Just, I know he just got married recently, or he got engaged, one of the two. I think he's got some other things on his mind. I don't want to speak for him, but he's such a good character, such a good dude.
I ran into him at school a couple of days ago, and he said, "Hey, are you going to be in town around Christmas?" Because he wants to come in and do some body work in the gym. So we can't blame lack of. He's trying on the body work.
Yeah,
some physio.
Yeah. Ooh. No, he's a grinder. I love that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of nipples, and he's got some. No, we're hoping he comes, because he's one of Kansas City's guys, right? So we're always rooting. In fact, when he was, Wardo and I had him in. We used to do this show pre-COVID every Monday morning on a little ESPN affiliate, and Harry had just gotten his. Gotten through, and he's through Korn Ferry into one of the top 25 guys, and so we brought him in, and first time I'd ever met him, and he's larger than life. Right? And then, of course, not soon after, I don't know if you remember the old Cranberry challenge,
Oh, yeah.
the ocean spray, and he's in the golf cart, and you got Fleetwood Mac play. Like he immediately knew how to brand himself, but not purposely. He's just a character that people really liked. And I got to think on the first few years of tour, you're trying to figure out who you are. And at the same time, you got to play good golf, right? I think he maybe starts seeing himself as a brand, which is great because he is. But then, God damn it, I got to go tee it off, right? It's you talk about hard, right? It's a hard gig.
I mean, ask Ricky Fowler about how to balance all that. I mean, he's probably, aside from Tiger, he's got to be the most marketable golfer that the game has seen in the last 15, 20 years. I mean, for a while, he was making more commercials than birdies. It was crazy.
There it is.
But
That's the line.
He's completely flipped the script, and he's still managed to keep his image. And Ricky's a great dude, and I'm so happy he's playing great again. And Butch flipped him around, but man, I think it's got to be hard to balance that. I mean, even I struggle with that a little bit, obviously on a much smaller level, but just like learning how to deal with sponsors and sponsor days and saying the right thing and smiling at the right people and just trying to create an image without being fake about it. It's a fine line to walk. And so that was part of my learning experience too. And I think everybody out on tour has that conundrum, other than, I think some of the Asian players, I think, have it pretty good because they give off the vibe that they can't speak English when in fact they can. Wow. Behind the scenes, just so they don't have to, engage with the American crowd. But because all their money's coming from, back home anyways.
Right. Yeah.
So,
does anyone teach you that? Like, did you ever sit down with anybody and say, hey, Cole, this is what goes down, right? They just ponied up. You got X number of dollars coming in from these 5 people. You're going to be at this tournament. You got to smile. You look them in the eye. You shake their hands. You ask them 3 questions and you fake listen. Okay. And then do 1 response. Okay. Like, does anyone do that?
So my agency, WME, did a great job of preparing me for for my obligations with sponsors and whatnot. But truth be told, I actually enjoy the time with the sponsors. I mean, they're ponying up money because they like me and believe in me as a golfer. Least I can do is go hang out with them for a couple days. So I'm grateful for it all. But it definitely, it's not like going to sit in a locker room and talk around a campfire like this. It's definitely different, but it's fun to share the journey with some other people.
Yeah. I mean, have you met any real corporate stiffs who you were just, I have no interest in this turtleneck wearing dude?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I have come across those guys, but to be honest, I love people. I just like everybody. There's really nobody in this world that I can sit here and say, man, I really don't like that man.
Good attitude.
So I always try to, give people the benefit of the doubt. But there are definitely some guys in pro-ams who, have an AirPod in for half the round and, they don't ask any questions, which, midway through 9 holes with a 3.5 hour pro-am group, it's, fine by me if we're not, batting it up. But anyways, there's more good guys than stiffs.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so great about golf is that for the most part, people check their egos on the first tee, I think. When you walk in the ropes and it's just 4 or 5 guys playing golf.
What's George say, Wardo? What's George's quote?
Strangers at noon, friends for life at 5.
I love that.
Every day for the first time at noon.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So my buddy Joe Scovrin, speaking of Ricky, just left. He's on Ricky's bag for north of a decade, and then went to, obviously Ricky was struggling, and Joe needed to eat, and so he jumped to Tom Kim. And in the last week, he's jumped now to Ludwig. Talk through that decision and that player.
Well, I think, I don't know how many caddies there are in the world of golf, but I can guarantee you 98% of them would have jumped ship to go caddy for Ludwig. He is an unbelievable golfer, and as crazy as it sounds, he's just a better dude. I mean, I played college golf with him, known him for a long time, and he's just such a good guy to be around. And obviously, the sky's the limit for him. His golf swing's just off the charts good. But I mean, it had to have been somewhat of a tough decision for Joe, because Tom had been having some success and making a good amount of money. And I mean, Joe had a lot of success with Ricky for a long time, though. So I guess when a call from Ludwig came, it's a hard no. I'm not sure how the relationship ended with Tom, if Tom, let him go, or if Joe left Tom. I can't speculate on that, but I would caddy for Ludwig if I was a caddy.
Yeah, well. Exactly. Paul, so we played together the last couple days of Q School finals in Savannah, and that was last year. And then you go to Houston and play well in your hometown PGA Tour event at Memorial Park. Kind of talk about what that was like, gaining some confidence after playing pretty well at Q School. We just got shuffled on the other side of the course, and then turning that into that top 5 at Sea Island. Well,
you inspired me with your just exceptional ball striking and putting that day, and we had some laughs from our playing partners, I think. But actually, my game had started to turn a corner heading into Q School. It hadn't been that great. I had Monday qualified for the Sanderson earlier on that fall, but nothing exceptional. I went home and worked on some things and came to Q School, and that was a tight golf course. You remember? So I mean, they must have spent $10,000 on those white soldiers out there. There was an OB stake every 10 yards. It's unbelievable. So I was very happy when those 72 holes were over, and then went back home to Houston. I think Q School finished on Sunday, and then I flew to Houston.
Flight that night.
Yeah, we finished on Monday. Q School finished on Monday, and I was playing Houston Open. That's right. And Memorial Park is, like I said, 5 minutes from my house. I grew up playing there, and it had undergone a renovation since I played it, but same routing. And unlike Savannah, where we were playing, there was literally no OB stakes to be found anywhere. I mean, you could hit it off the planet if you wanted to. But anyways, I remember teeing it up on Thursday morning. It's actually Thursday afternoon, and Jeff Blum was the honorary starter. Played baseball forever. Played for the Astros. Now he's the one of our 2 announcers for the Astros, and I just remember being the most nervous I've ever been over a tee shot in my entire life. And I hit a halfway decent tee shot and walked off the tee and said, you know what, there's no way I'll ever be that nervous again. And then I got off to a pretty good start and made the cut. It was the first cut I made on tour, and it was pretty cool to do at home. I had a bunch of people out following, and made some birdies on Saturday, and got a call that I was going to get a sponsor's invite into the RSM the following week, which kind of came out of left field. And so, I felt like I was playing with house money on Sunday. Finished, I think, 29th, which was a great finish. And then went to the RSM and
on the lead.
I continued that good play. Yeah. It was funny. I think I'm pretty sure that I got COVID on Monday at RSM.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure. Okay. No, I did not test. I did not feel good on Tuesday in the practice round. And so, I have plausible deniability here because I didn't get tested. The world never knows. No one else got sick. Who knows? But I didn't get out of bed on Wednesday, and I'd never played the plantation course at Sea Island. And so I had Bobby, my caddy, who's just a prince of a guy, go walk the course. And my first hole of the tournament was number 10 on plantation, and he basically just told me where to hit it on each hole, and I tried to follow directions like a third grader. But the first hole's a dolly left and water all down the left side. And he said, all right, just 3-iron out to the right, wedge on the green. It's 45 degrees, cold, windy, and I pulled nuked this 3-iron, and it flew the water by 1 inch, and or else I would have been re-teeing because the water was all up the left. And I made par and then made 9 birdies in my next 16 holes, and made a bogey on my 17th. And but yeah, I shot 8 under, was in the lead after the first round, which was pretty wild after having never seen the course before. And I just, I felt like I had nothing to lose. I was sick. I wasn't supposed to be in this tournament. I mean, who cares? Whatever happens. And then I almost had this jolt of confidence, like, whoa, I can do this. And then I was calm on the second day, even in the lead. And so it was just a perfect storm for a good week. And then that was a great way to finish off the year.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I got a good COVID story. Speaking of back when, remember when they were paying guys if they got COVID to exit? So Duffner, speaking of funny, he's literally hang on, this is Cole. I had to pull up a picture of Cole during that tournament.
My flu game, baby.
Yeah, the flu game.
No, but Duffner, because they're giving out like 20 grand or something, or
for the big tour guys, it was a lot.
Duffner goes, Gary, I'm going to go around and lick some doorknobs so I can get COVID, so I can get paid.
Yeah, I think it was 100. It was 100 grand.
Is that what it was?
100 grand.
Wait, for what?
If you got COVID in the middle of a tournament, it was 100 grand.
No.
On the big tour, it was 100 grand.
Even if you didn't make the cut?
Yeah. Even if you, yeah. I mean, you had, I think it was during the tournament at whatever point. I mean, you could be on your 35th hole, 19 over par. Yeah. If you were, if you needed to be teeing it up, you would get $100,000. And $100,000 probably didn't seem like it was enough to John Rahm when he had a 6-shot lead at the Memorial. You remember that? He had a 6-shot lead at the Memorial, and they ripped him off the course.
On the 18th. No, it was after he, right? It was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Saturday. And
about it.
Was talking about it, and then the guy tells him, and Jim Nance is like, it looked like somebody had just told John Rahm that his family had been taken out away. Yeah. It was terrible.
He went like this, right? He was like,
had that.
That was tragic. It cost him. He was playing his ass off. Cost him. How many millions does that cost him?
Couple.
I mean,
I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, he's okay now.
He's just fine now, man.
All right, what's going to happen with Liv and all this shit? I mean, I think we're all sick of talking about it and hearing about it, but
yeah, I was on Twitter the other day. I'm on Twitter way too much, but all these new golf accounts are actually pretty entertaining. But one of them did a mock Ryder Cup matchup between PGA Tour and Liv, and it was like Tiger versus Phil, Rory versus Koepka, Scotty versus Rahm, and it was just like, wow. I mean, it would be a complete toss-up if the tours were swapped. Which one would you watch? It's a crazy. We're in a crazy place in the game of golf right now. I've always been pro PGA Tour. I've always wanted to play on the PGA Tour. With that being said, it's pretty hard to get behind. the fact that they've been so wishy-washy with their place, where they stand with these Saudis and Live over the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, it's just like, how do you tell all the players one thing and then go ahead and flip around and do another?
Well, your buddies, no doubt, with Spieth and crew, who are loyal to the PGA, do they feel slighted?
I mean, how can you not, right?
Yeah.
I saw a Spieth quote the other day. He was talking about Rahm. I think he said that, you know, I'm not sure that John Rahm went only for the money. I think he saw two tours that weren't in perfect places, and chose the one with the money. And so, you know, if you read between the lines there, I think, listen, I think everybody has a price. $600 million or whatever it was, that's a lot of money. And I mean, how can, like Dustin Johnson said, how can you, you know, not accept a job where you work less and get paid more?
What are you hearing though? What are you hearing about? What are you hearing about? You know, I thought they were all supposed to come together, and yet no one knows anything. Is it like, what was that?
Yeah,
it
doesn't seem like that's happened. I know they're still in negotiations with the PIF and whatnot, but you know, Wade, did you see that email that the PGA Tour sent out last week or this week talking about how they're, you know, moving into the private equity world and whatnot?
Yeah, they've got like a bunch of, it's like the PGA Tour is going to go out and play some mini tour golf for a while. They got a bunch of private investors now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they're still negotiating with the Live PIF fund. And so, you know, I think at the end of the day, those angel investors are hoping that PGA Tour and Live can somehow come to terms with a deal so that, you know, they actually are funding a product that's not just, you know, an off-brand store versus like a Target or something like that. So
PGA Tour is losing leverage.
It's
each month. They may say, listen, right here we are. Only I don't know how long ago Monahan sat down with the guys, but they're not equal partners anymore.
No, I mean,
assuming the agreement goes through, right? Like
assuming, yeah.
Now you've got Fenway Sports Group that's looking to get involved with the tour, and why wouldn't they? But
yeah, I mean, when you sit down at a table, typically the person with the most money is going to walk away victorious.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just the way the world works, and you know that's
if it helps your purses, then who gives a damn?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know, that's been the biggest plus here, and I think, you know, the tour has been very reactionary to what Liv has done, and that's been good and bad. I wish they could have got out in front of it, but yeah, I mean the purses have gone up, but I don't necessarily think the structure of the tour has improved. I think it's basically created a rift between the top 75 guys and the bottom 50 guys. There's essentially two tours now. You've got, you know, it used to be where you come off the Korn Ferry Tour, the Nationwide Tour back in the day, and you're immediately playing against the best players in the world. And now there's almost a tour underneath the PGA Tour in between the Korn Ferry Tour. It's like, okay, you just got your PGA Tour card, but now you got to play unbelievable. You probably got to win one or get into the majors before you start playing against the best players in the world. And that just doesn't really make sense to me as a young golfer growing up, wanting to play on the PGA Tour and playing against the best players in the world. While, you know, they are the 150 best players in the world, you want to be playing against the big names. You know, you don't grow up wanting to make a putt on the 18th hole to beat the man who's finishing 126th in a FedEx Cup. You want to?
We had him on the show. Yeah. Hey, I just beat Wade Binfield, for Christ's sake.
Well, hey, that's a big deal. He has his own. He has Wade Wednesday.
Wade Wednesday. We need more Cole Hammer likes so we can grow our media. It's like the tour. They're playing for stack. Obviously, Live, they're playing for these stacks. The tour's playing for these stacks. And then it's like Korn Ferry down here. And I just think I just think it's bullshit that there's so much talent on the Korn Ferry Tour, and these dudes, but it's hard to make a living out there, a consistent living. Obviously, the goal is not to get comfortable on the Korn Ferry Tour, but
that's what they're going to tell you.
The spread is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to tell you.
They want you comfortable out here.
Yeah,
it's like
they don't want. Here's what we're going to do. Let's take a commercial break. But a final thought word out, because despite what you think, I do listen to things that you tell me. You know, because I'm a really good listener. You know, I don't fake it like you do to me. And you brought up a question last week during our show to all of us, and you said, "Are you guys watching more golf or less golf since all of this went down?" Right? You asked the question. And of course, the unanimous answer was what?
No, let's hear what Cole's answer is.
Well, I hope I'm part of the unanimous.
So in the industry, we call that a tease. So hit the commercial.
That's a tease, baby. That's a tease. In the industry. Oh, you're a seasoned vet, Wayne. All right.
More
the
ways
answer's
than
going to
one.
come back. Cole, don't you give your answer. You only get that answer.
I'm on the edge of my seat. All
right, listen to Golf Underground, ESPN Kansas City. Hey, Brian Sullivan of Golf Underground with my favorite orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Kevin Whitty from Sano Orthopedics. Hey, Doc, golf season's over. My back is killing me. I know it's football season, so you get a lot of kids coming in, blown ACLs, all sorts of body parts with problems. And then, of course, those baseball players. I know you fix a lot of elbows. Why is Sano Orthopedics the absolute best sports medicine orthopedic group in Kansas City?
Well, if you want to see the guys in town who've had the best orthopedic fellowship training in sports medicine, including training with Dr. James Andrews and Dr. Larry Lemack, come see us. We individualize patients' plans to get them back to that activity and that sport that they love. And we actually care and listen to our patients and follow up with them and make sure that they're getting the results they need.
Okay, and so the three things that separate you: number one, best training; number two, you specialize in getting people on that field; number three, you're actually listen. Where can I learn more? Because you got me all in, and I don't really want to get fixed, but it's time.
At SanoOrthopedics.com, 816-525-2840.
Hi, this is George Brett, Hall of Fame baseball player, and I've been playing golf for over 35 years. Hitting the ball far was never my problem, but the closer I got to the greens, that's when my problems began. When I wanted a golf practice area in my backyard, I called Celebrity Greens. They are the industry leader in custom-built synthetic golf greens. These championship caliber, low-maintenance greens roll great, react like real bent grass, and hold chip shots that check and spin. I absolutely love mine, not only in Kansas City, but also in Arizona. Call the pros at Celebrity Greens at 1-888-507-7960 or visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Practice like the pros, or people like me that want to be pros, right in your own backyard.
Hey, Brian Sullivan, Golf Underground, with a little tip for you. If you're looking to buy a new Ford, you have to check out my buddy, Jason Gudenkoff at Lewisburg Ford. They've been saving Midwest Ford buyers thousands of bucks for over 40 years because they do business the right way. They sell everything, check this out, for $50 over invoice. That's simple and cheap. And they win a lot of awards. In fact, they won Ford's President's Award 17 times. That's the top Ford award. And they only give it to dealers with superior customer satisfaction in sales and service. So they know how to take care of customers better than anybody. Now, what these guys know how to do also, keep this in mind, sell trucks. Lewisburg Ford has sold more F-150s than any other Ford dealership in greater Kansas City. That's 2 years running. And last year, they were the number one F-150 sales leader in the entire state of Kansas. So, no hassle. $50 over invoice pricing, unparalleled customer satisfaction, and a huge selection. That's a perfect recipe for selling trucks. So, check out all their inventory and prices online at lewisburgford.com or give them a call at 816-444-2300.
New golf clubs, a big screen TV to watch the U.S. Open, or maybe even a new golf cart that I've got my eye on.
No matter how you choose to spend the savings, if you're looking to put a dent in your monthly heating and cooling bills, the answer may be right over your head. If your attic isn't insulated properly, you're missing out on a prime opportunity to cut costs. Call the certified energy experts at Star Companies, Inc., 816-353-2160 for a free estimate to learn how they can help you save money. 816-353-2160 or visit starcompanieskc.com.
Welcome back. Golf Underground. Wardo's got his cocktail all teetered up. What'd you get there, Wardo?
No, I decided to go potty. We got Tito sets.
All right. Well, listen, it's Thursday and it's a holiday season. So
Thursday afternoon, late in the day sesh. To be honest,
but I had a business podcast this morning at 8:30 with coffee. It sucks. I'm not as enthusiastic as having a nice jacket diet. You know, it's like this. Wait,
why are we doing all these things at 5:30 in the afternoon? I go, George, some of us have to work. We don't have 300 million in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like my question to Wade would be, so Wade, what's your marketing campaign look like in 2024? Like, Jesus, who gives a damn? This is Wade. All right.
So you're talking about with Bob on Wade Wednesday.
Yeah. Got it. Wade Wednesday. Back to Wade Wednesday. All right. So the answer, Cole, was are people watching more golf or less golf as a result of the rift between the LIV and the PGA Tour?
Well, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but for me, I don't think my viewership of golf has changed per se. I haven't spent more time in front of a TV than I have in the past, but I have been refreshing my phone and golf Twitter nonstop. Probably, I mean, you know, at least 30 minutes to an hour a day more so than I was before all of this drama came out. I mean, it seems like a player every day is dropping and going to LIV. I think more eyeballs are on the game now, but it hasn't changed the way I watch golf on TV.
So if Taylor Swift was dating a PGA Tour player, would the numbers...
Nobody would watch. Nobody would.
Oh, my God.
It's an honest and fair question. Might it increase the female viewership if Taylor Swift was dating, let's say... Cole Hammer. No, he's got a girl. I saw him on Instagram. He's already taken. We're not going to start breaking up relationships here on the underground, Wardo.
Completely taken.
Yeah,
but doesn't mean I wouldn't smile and take a picture on the 18th green.
You'd buy me heaters too.
Well said. All right, you had a question, Wade. You because he's your buddy. Cole's been your buddy. 2 putters in a bag. And I might be the only other guy who has that same scenario. Go.
So we're playing a practice round, and I don't remember where it was. It started somewhere this year. Was it Kansas City? It
was Kansas City. It was Kansas City was the first week I did it.
So we're Tuesday. We're going to try to run a live pod on Tuesday, and he's got a sponsor dinner or host family dinner that he can't make it to. And we're on the first screen, and I'm like, this son of a bitch has 2 putters in the bag. So kind of go through that decision. What club are you normally leaving out when you do that? And are you still rocking the 2 flat sticks?
As of now, I'm still, you know, wheeling and dealing 2 putters. It started, I think it was actually the week before Kansas City in Huntsville. We didn't play together, but I was uncomfortable on some putts early on in tournaments and wanted to find a way to kind of calm those nerves. And the long putter did that, but I'm a much better putter with my short putter when I'm comfortable. And I reach a place in the round where I get really comfortable, and then I want the short putter back. So it was like, I rationalized it by thinking that we have 14 clubs for a reason. I mean, if I can't take a little bit off of a 50 degree, then I probably shouldn't be playing golf anyways. You know, how much fun would it be to play around a golf with 7 clubs? I think it would bring a lot more skill into the game.
We'd probably play better, to be honest.
Oh, we 100% would. We've become less TrackMan, numbers oriented. But anyways, back to the 2 putters. One's a long one, one's a short one. And the long one's really heavy. And it just kind of like, I don't know, it's a security blanket for me. I've gone days in tournaments where I haven't used it one time. It's just a feel thing. I wish I could explain it better, but I always figured that it could be a cool story if I or how about when I win with it? Ping does a cool thing where they give away gold putters for PGA Tour wins, and I could have two gold putters for one win. At least I haven't talked to him about it yet. But hey,
the best part about it to me is that Bobby has to unsheath both of them from the bag and cover every freaking time.
Well, okay, I feel horrible for Bobby, but imagine carrying my own bag in a Monday qualifier and saying, which one do I want here, and laying it down next to me on the green like a towel.
You might want to go over that with your Navy SEAL, how to make that.
No, that's exactly right. I've accepted it and I love it, and I kind of use it to my advantage. It's like part of me.
Hey, how is that? It's no different than Streb, right? Streb, he got that baseball swing. So exactly. Speaking of Sea Island, right? Streb comes in. We do an interview with Streb, and he just won down there at Sea Island. Remember? And you want to talk?
Good.
Oh yeah. Cole, we had interviewed him in the past, and I mean, it's like a colonoscopy. God, if you know, it's and he'll admit it, right? He's like, I'm an introvert. This is funny though. The day we had him on like a Tuesday after he won down there, you'd have thought he was pregnant. He walked into that thing strutting. He had this glow about him. No, I'm not lying. Remember? And I think we had Coach Self. I think we had Bill Self and Gurley came in today. And Streb's just sitting back there, chatty Cathy. He had keep holding. But he came in, and probably the second time we interviewed him, he came in. Warder's like, "Hey, look at this new Bionic Man thing I have that where it knows your shoulder turn and it will do AI and Streb almost shit himself. He's like, get me away from this stuff.
No, he goes,
give me the baseball swing.
What do you think, sir? What the fuck's a track man?
Hey, that's so the way funny. Some guys tick. I mean, it's impressive. I played a practice with Robert this year. Couldn't have been nicer, but yeah, we didn't really talk about much.
There's not a lot of chatting going down. Yeah.
So Cole, which club are you normally leaving out for the long putter?
It depends on the course. It depends on the course, but it's either so if I did play a normal setup with one putter, I would have 4 wedges, 9 through 4 iron, and then a 7 wood, and then a 3 wood and a driver. And so depending on the course, if it's a course where I need another club off the tee or the par 5s are all pretty reachable, I need a club coming into the par 5s, then I'll put the 7 wood in or a 3 iron and take the 54 degree out. And then if there's a bunch of drivers off the tee, typically vice versa, I'll take the 7 wood out and put the 54 degree back in if it's a wedge heavy course. So it just all depends. And I've switched between rounds before, to be honest.
I'm going to throw something at you. Why wouldn't you figure out what you're coming into you're going to know what you're roughly going to hit into the par 4s and par 3s. Well, I mean, why wouldn't you drop, if there's no 5 irons that day, why wouldn't you drop a 5 iron?
That's a lovely question.
Interesting.
It's a very lovely question.
Wedge.
I mean, truth be told, how many 5 irons do you hit in a round of golf?
Not effing 0 on the Korn Ferry tour, apparently.
Hey, you're going to
Colorado,
unless it's a Colorado or on a par 3.
You're going to consider this year, but let's get that gap wedge back in the bag. You might drop 6 iron. You might drop 7.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at taking off yardage from my 50 degree for whatever reason. I just feel like, I can hit a 50 degree wedge 100 yards, 90 yards if I need to. It's like I've normalized it. I literally right now I have 13 clubs in my bag when I go out and play at home. I've just gotten used to it. As weird as that sounds.
I love it. All right, Sully, you want to hit him with the rapid fires?
Well, this is Wade. Wade's rapid fire. You got him?
I've got 2, and then I've got them loaded in the chamber, and then I'm spent, man.
All right. Well, I've got some bonus ones that I could throw his way. So, Wardo, would you please take it away with the famous intro?
All right, here we go. Cole Hammer, are you ready for the Emergency 9 with Wade Wednesday on the Golf Underground?
As ready as I'll ever be, I think.
All right, go, Wade.
Cole, you can have one University of Texas college football playoff national championship trophy this year, or you are guaranteed 3 Houston Astros World Series appearances the next 3 years. Which one are you taking?
Appearances?
Appearances. So 3 shots or one guaranteed Texas is officially back. No more down horns or horns down.
Oh my gosh, I hate this so much, but I'm going to say 3 World Series. Can you imagine 3 World Series wins? I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Pretty. Exactly. 3 World Series. 3 World Series.
What am I not allowed to wear in the suite next year in Austin when my Gators come calling?
You know, I had already been thinking about this, and my plan was to drop you off at Franklin's Barbecue early in the morning on Saturday and let you wait it out so I didn't have to hear you talk about how your secondary was going to lock down our wide receivers or something like that. But yeah, we'll keep you to a light blue with a little bit of orange so it could almost look like Texas colors.
Sky blue Gator shirt. I think I'm good.
You're dialed.
Yeah,
you're dialed.
Yeah. Some J's and a light blue Gator shirt.
All right, I got one. Hole 3. Best college player you've ever played with.
This should be very easy. This is funny. When I played with Ludwig, he was a freshman, and so he was good, but he wasn't what he is now. Hovland.
Good answer. Hole 4. Yeah. Best bar in Austin, Texas.
Buford's.
Good answer.
It's a good time.
Number 5. Aldi, can I do number 5?
Yeah.
You're out with your boys. What's your and you decide you're going to have a couple cocktails or two. We'll call it a bachelor party in Vegas, right? And so, what's your cocktail of choice?
Just a ranch water, a little Blanco tequila with some Topo Chico and a lime, and I'm good to go. Keep it simple. I don't need any juices or Red Bulls or, I've never said no to an espresso martini though. So,
although you know what I heard, Oil Can Harry serves a hell of
I can't. I mean, I might show up there tomorrow night.
Red Bull. Yeah,
this is unbelievable. So we have.
Hey, they're pretty. They're extra dirty martinis, right?
They're very dirty, and the swizzle stick is off the chart.
That's so bad.
So speaking of Red Bull, we had Justin Reed from one of our who used to play for Houston on our podcast a month or 2 ago, and he goes, "I go drink a choice," and he goes, "Tequila and Red Bull." And I started throwing up on the spot.
Oh, wow! I mean, we've all probably had vodka Red Bull at one point or another, but
yeah. And it ended. Cole, it ended bad when I'm responsible for posting these things, which I really shouldn't be, and I spelled his name wrong all around the internet, and I didn't think he'd ever look at it, and he's like, "Hey, boys, my name's not Reed, for Christ's sake. Do your homework." I'm like, son of a. So I'm probably going to call you Cole Schlammer.
Hammer, then you're officially fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
Hey, I've gotten Cole Hamels a bunch, and I wish I had a left wing that could throw at 95.
All right,
hole number 6. The best short game you've ever seen.
Best short game I've ever seen. Patrick Reed.
Oh, fair. Good call.
All right, I guess the next one.
It's unbelievable. He can get up and down out of a trash can. It's crazy.
All right, so the best golf course you've ever played.
Pine Valley.
Same.
All right, can I take this one?
Nope.
All right. No. Hey, I don't fear rejection.
We should be in the fucking underground right now.
Cole, if you can have dinner with any 3 controversial figures, who would they be?
I would love to spend a night with Elon Musk, Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
Imagine putting Phil and Elon in a dinner table. And then, I'd want someone that can laugh too. So I'd probably throw like Lee Trevino in there, even though he's not controversial, but man, he'd make the conversation good. That's kind of that's an eclectic group, isn't it?
That's a good one. Can you imagine if you had like a case of ranch waters with that group?
Want to hear mine?
Yeah, I do.
O.J. Simpson, Phil Mickelson.
Wait, who was the second?
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
Oh, nice.
Who John Daly said cheated at golf like crazy when he was playing with him.
So does Trump.
Hey, yeah, I played with Trump a couple of years ago, and I played with Sam Burns, another young kid from the area, and Sam's agent at the time, and I think they're still together. But anyways, it was me and Sam's agent versus Trump and Sam, and Sam's agent and I were up 5 through like 13 holes. And it was game over. It wasn't even close. We get to 14T and Trump looks at us and goes, "All right, Sammy, we're 1 down, 4 to go. You want to make a comeback here?" And he, I actually really enjoyed being around him as one funny cat, but he definitely hit some drives that ended up in the fairway.
Oh yeah.
Probably had no business being in the fairway.
Cole, it's a like these guys know. I played in the Bedminster Trump National member guest for 5 years. Yeah, and became buddies with all the caddies, right? Because I grew up a caddy, and these guys are like, if you're on his back and that ball goes left and it's around the dog leg, that thing, if it does not end up in a nice lie, they were serious. They're like, you're in big trouble. Like it's legit. It's legit.
Yeah.
You like to win. Yeah,
it really does.
Ever lose one if you get there first, Sully? If you're the first guy and you're foursome to get to where you think your golf ball is, you never lose one.
Especially when you Secret Service throwing shit from the woods back into the.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Squirrel.
Well, yeah.
He hit a tee shot that clearly went in the bunker, and I mean he couldn't avoid the fact that it went in the bunker, and he kind of takes a step back, looks at it, looks at us, and goes, "I can't believe that bunker's there. It doesn't need to be there. I'm picking that thing out." It was at his Trump National or Trump International in West Palm.
Oh my God.
Action. Oh, last hole on rapid fire here before we let you go. Texas barbecue or Kansas City barbecue?
I love you boys, but I'm going Texas.
All right.
The brisket here just has it tastes like home. And I'm sure y'all can say the same up there, but it's just got a little bit of a different kick. And I think we're born and bred in Texas to like the brisket down here.
You follow me?
I do like it up there, though.
All right, Rudy's or the Salt Lick?
Salt Lick. No question.
We need to get him to send us some.
Well, fuck. Maybe we send him something.
We'll send you some Joes. You send us some Salt Lick.
Done deal.
All right, final question where I need.
You let me know how Franklin's is next October, maybe.
So as we wrap up, and my Uber comes in 12 minutes to take me to the Harrah's Kansas City Hotel and Casino, should I play Hold'em or Blackjack?
Blackjack. Your ADP
baby.
is too too brutal.
It's a lot easier to count to 21 than it is to bluff your way to money. So
Well, the nice thing is I don't even have to. I normally look at the nice lady and I say, should I hit it? I'd stay. I let her do all the heavy lift. It's like a caddy for me. It's a financial
awesome.
caddy. That's it. All right, Cole, you are the man. Wade, thanks for setting it up. Listen, I think it'd be fun just to videotape you two on a nice round of golf. You know, it's probably Golf Channel worthy. It might be fun to watch.
Yeah, Wade, we could create our own version of Good.
Those guys are making some stacks.
Dude, if I had $1 senior player that came in and told me about the latest good video, we'd have some cash.
Have you ever watched one of them?
Yeah.
They're Kansas City guys, right?
Well, one of the guys is. One of the guys.
Are they bad?
No, but
I mean, no, they can play golf, obviously, just from like their swings. But I mean, they're not like
the videos are edited for sure.
Oh, well, they're hitting each shot probably hundreds of times.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have pretty swings, and it's been good for the game of golf in the sense that I think more kids are getting into it just because of the YouTube world.
Agreed.
But like for example, there's this kid at my home course who just started playing golf, and he's a chatterbox, good kid. But I asked him, I haven't seen you out here in forever. What are you doing? He goes, well, I watched this new good video, and I just couldn't wait to come play golf. And I just never had that outlet when I was growing up. So maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but I do think our video would be electric and people would tune in. So, maybe we do have to do that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
What was your name it? Suck ass? Well, like, what's that?
Man, you know what?
You over that. We could call it Navy SEAL train versus like the Harbor SEAL, because like I'm getting ready for winter up here in Kansas City right now.
Time to fucking.
Hey, that's nice. You get
We're packing it on to sleep for the winter.
Put the clubs in the travel case.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important before we hang up on you here, Cole, to know that the Golf Underground appeals to the demographic from ages 54 to 80, 89. So you reached the new demographic today.
Hey, that's so exciting. That's exactly what I came here to do.
That's right.
Those are the only people that I relate to, anyway. So
that's right. That's right. See,
why now with me?
Growing up at a golf course, Mr., Miss, yes sir, yes ma'am, my whole life. They're all 7 years old now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's right.
Holy, did you tell Cole what happens after people come on the underground? What happens?
They always. We don't want to. Hey, we're not going to jinx it. We're just saying everybody who's been on the underground has gone on to either win a tournament, get married to the love of their life, reunite with an old sibling who they used to hate, become fancy and famous on some commercial / sitcom. Either way, being on this, we create champions on the underground. And Cole, we're blessed to have you.
You know what? I hope just one of those things comes true. I'll put that on my Santa's list.
Right there. Hey,
thank you, boys. I appreciate it.
Write it on your. Hey, look at. I want to see. Write it on your little whiteboard at home. Okay.
Manifest it. Make it come true. I love that. I'm gonna write it on my mirror.
God bless. Come back and visit us after your first tournament. And yet, like with Harry Higgs, we said the first big one you went on tour, we get to shave his back for you based on that hair on your head. We're going genitalia.
Wow. I am scared that y'all know that I live in Houston.
All right, guys, we had a great time on the Golf Underground. Yeah, come on back next week.
Literally underground.
Golf Underground. See you, man.